Hello, hello. I am live. At least I think I'm live. Hopefully, I am. Welcome to the first of the BuyBotPro Deep Dive Training Webinars, the first one of 2023. We are back. We've started them all over again. So basically, once a month, we will have one of these in here. And good news as well, if you have Profit Protector Pro, the deep dive training sessions for Profit Protector Pro are starting again very, very soon, and they will continue as normal. So I hope everyone is doing well. I'm going to give it a little bit of time just to see if anyone else is joining. But yes, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what the weather is like. I like to hear all about that as the typical British guy that I am. For me, recently, it has been a little bit cold. It was, well, actually kind of weird. It snowed last week and then it was warm over the weekend, as in so warm I was able to manage a t-shirt for a short time on Sunday, which was nuts. But it is all right. Again, it's a bit cloudy. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what the weather is like where you are. My name is Matt. You have probably seen me here, there, and everywhere. So answering things in the Facebook group. You've probably seen me in a YouTube video. You've probably heard me on a podcast, or you've seen me on TikTok. You will have probably seen or heard me somewhere by now. And yes, welcome to the BuyBotPro Training Webinars. For anyone that catches me, I don't know, midway through the webinar and has missed the first bit, or maybe you have to leave at some point, provided that technology does not fail, we are going to get this on YouTube as soon as possible, so you can watch back the full replay over again as many times as you like. So how these webinars work is we're going to be talking about everything BuyBotPro. So if you have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments and I'll try my very best to answer. And we're also going to look at a couple of BuyBotPro videos as well, explaining some features. And we've got some really cool stuff planned for today's webinar, including some new things that got added into BuyBotPro recently. There should be a link in this live somewhere that if you click it, I will be able to see your comments and things like that. So please go ahead and do that. Just before we get started with anything, if you have any BuyBotPro issues as such, please feel free to email info@buybotpro.com and the team will do the very best to help you. Sorry. But yes, I hope everyone is doing well. And I think now is an opportune time to get started with the webinar itself. And we're going to work through the videos, come back and discuss that particular video afterwards, and then we'll start again and so forth. So that's how the webinar is going to work. I hope you enjoy it. And let's get started with the first video, which is all about the new features that got added into BuyBotPro recently, which I'm really excited about. Hope you guys have been able to try them out yet, or maybe if you don't quite understand them, hopefully this video helps your understanding. So with that being said, let's crack on with the first video. Hey, so I'll talk you through all of the new features that got added into BuyBotPro. Now this update was pushed live for everyone, so you will have access to everything I'm going to talk through. But before we dive into all of the new features, I just wanted to explain how you'd go about manually updating BuyBotPro, just in case you ever need to. It's important to keep your Chrome and software up to date. So in order to update BuyBotPro, what you need to do is come to your jigsaw piece icon at the top of Chrome, find BuyBotPro, click on the three dots, then manage extension. And then you'll have this button here that says update. Now, if that doesn't appear, you need to toggle on developer mode. And once that's on, that update button will appear, click it and BuyBotPro will be updated. So right now at this point in time, it's version 1.15.32. So let's come back to Amazon. And now we're going to talk through all of the new features. So the first one is the Auto-Analyse function. Now this is so powerful and I am very certain that you are going to love it. So what you need to do is come through to your BuyBotPro settings, come to Personalization and toggle on Auto-Analyse. It's completely optional. You don't have to do this, but I'd encourage you to give it a try if you haven't done so already. So toggle it on, and just like anything else in your settings, please make sure that you come to the bottom and press Save and Sync. So that way BuyBotPro can refresh and take that change into account. Now Auto-Analyse works exactly like this. So let's say we've just come onto this page on Amazon. So for the first time, I've not entered in anything. Watch, I've not typed in any of the buy prices or sell prices. I've not clicked analyze, and BuyBotPro has analyzed the item for me right off the bat without me having to do anything. So I get all of those analysis results straight away. Obviously, things like the profit and the ROI are going to be off because I've not entered in any specific numbers. I've not entered in a buy price or anything like that. So for clearer numbers in the details section, I just need to enter in the buy price and reanalyze. But for everything else, you can see that straight away. So this in effect is going to save you time, because you might go entering in a buy price, sell price, and looking at all of the numbers, and then you find, oh, I'm not eligible. The IP radar show me that there's an issue, or I'm not happy with the BSR or something else. So it can help you get through your analysis a whole lot quicker. And as I say, obviously for accurate numbers, you just need to enter in your buy price, sell price, and reanalyze. So let's go ahead and do that. And there you go, the numbers will change, giving me an accurate profit and ROI and everything else. A cool little thing that we've added into the calculator as well, if you haven't noticed, it's a little bit tucked away, but it's this little cog icon here. Now, if you click on that, it will add all of the extra settings to the calculator. So things like the merchant fulfilled toggle, the pan EU toggle or EFN, depending which one you have set, the bundle toggle, the quantity, and the VAT override. Now, you might not use any of these in your analysis, or you might want to hide them until you do need them. So you can tidy up your panel using this cog. It's just another way of making BuyBotPro a lot sleeker and helping you streamline your workflow. Next up, you have all of these new features at the bottom of the main panel. So underneath buy box statistics, you now have the BSR and prices. Now, this is just going to give you a clearer view about what the BSR is like on the item and what the prices are like on the item. So you might recognize this BSR and BSR predictor from the details section. They have been moved from there into here. So it's basically telling me if the BSR is within my set BSR parameters that I've set in my criteria settings, is then able to predict if this item is going to remain in the top percentage of this item's category. So it's predicting that it's going to remain within the top 1%. And it also tells me the BSR drops as well. Now, there's been 5 in the last 30 days. So the BSR drops, what you're looking for here is for as many drops as possible within the time period that you are looking at. So the more drops means the more sales. So it's kind of similar to the way that the BSR line works on the chart, which is a visual way of looking at the same information almost. So for every drop, there has been sales for that item. So the more drops, the more sales. It doesn't mean that there's only been 5 sales in the last 30 days. It could be any number, but it's just showing me that there have been 5 drops. And from there, I would probably go ahead and look at something like the BSR line for a clearer picture, or the estimated sales calculator to figure out how well the item is selling from there. So next up we have the prices, and it's telling me the buy box price and who holds the buy box currently. It's showing me the net buy box price changes. So this is telling me how many times the buy box has moved up or moved down in the time period that I'm looking at. So it has moved up 4 times and moved down 5 times. That's why it's showing -1, because it's moved down 1 more time than it has gone up in the last 30 days. And what you're looking for here is you're looking for consistency. Now, this can help you judge the price that you may potentially sell the item for. So if you see a lot of ups, your profit potential, if you were to join this item, is increased. If you see a lot of downs, that could be for a number of reasons. It can be different depending on the item that you're looking at. But if you saw where it went down loads and loads and loads and loads, that could mean that there's lots of sellers that join this listing and perhaps tank it. If you see the occasional down, that could just be a natural development. It could be down to any number of reasons, but what you're looking for here is consistency and preferably more ups than downs, but it's healthy to have a little bit of both, I think, as long as it's remaining fairly equal. So if we look at the different day ranges as well, which you can do, so you've got the current time period, the last 30 days, 90, 180, or for all time. You can also see the top prices on this listing as well. So you've got Amazon here at $28.98. They will also count as an FBA seller, and it is just them on the listing if we look at the competition analysis. So it's just them. And then all of the others are FBM sellers. So that is the same price here. But if there was an FBA seller on the listing, it would show the top FBA seller's price. And then the top FBM seller price is $39.99. So we can see there on the competition analysis, that is this one here. And lastly, we have the new chart section at the bottom of the panel. So what you have in here is the main sales chart and the offers and reviews chart, exactly the same as what you have down here, except it's been miniaturized and it's kind of cute, and you now have them at the bottom of BuyBot Pro. So this can help you tidy up your page a little bit more. So you could, in theory, potentially turn off the big charts and just have these small ones. So you get all of the same information as you would get in the big chart. So you can see the historical information for the item over the time period that you're viewing. And it's a visual representation of all of that. So you can see how the FBA price has changed. You can look for BSR trends, the Amazon price, how that's changed over time. You have the sales heat map as well, and you have the offers and reviews chart, so it's showing you how many people have joined the listing, how the reviews and the ratings have gone on the item. And again, you can change the day range. So right now it's on 90 days, but you can look at the last 7, 30, 180, 365, or for all time. So how long this item has been on Amazon for. Just the same as on the big charts, if you find a particular point in time that you want to look at in a bit more detail, you can click and drag and zoom in, and of course you can reset that zoom as well. Another thing you can do if you want to see the chart a bit bigger, you can click on the BuyBot Pro link at the bottom here, and it opens up the charts in a separate page for you, whereby you can view the big version of them, plus you get the BSR chart and the averages tables as well. And also, we understand that everyone likes to work in different ways. They like to see things a little bit differently. So if you want to view the Keeper version of these charts, then click on Keeper here, and it will show you the main sales chart here. And again, if you hover over any of these points, it will give you a breakdown of what exactly was happening with the item at that point in time. So all in all, it's just another way to help you keep everything nice and tidy within BuyBot Pro. If you prefer to have these mini charts there, it's completely up to you what you're going to do. This is adding to the options that you have to tailor BuyBot Pro to your liking to get it exactly the way that you want it. I think these mini charts are great. I think the other new features are really great as well. And if you haven't tested them out yet, go ahead and give them a try, see how you like them. Again, for things like the Auto-Analyse and such, it's up to you if you want that on or off. You might prefer the old way of entering in your buy price, sell price, and clicking on Analyze first. That's completely up to you, that's all good. But if you want to give Auto-Analyse a go and take a look at these other features as well, I'd heavily advise that you give it a shot. And hopefully you love everything as much as we do. So those are all of the new features within BuyBot Pro. Back to the webinar. So there we go. Those are all of the new features that I got added in recently. If you have been using them, please feel free to let me know how you're liking them. I do hope that you love them. Don't forget as well, there should be a link or something in this live whereby if you click it, I can see your comment. So if you have a favorite of the new features as well, please let me know. My personal one would have to be the Auto-Analyse. I think that's great. A lot of people were asking for things like this as well. And so that is just part of what we do at BuyBot Pro. We love getting feedback and sort of like new suggestions and things like that. And then if we can implement them, then we will. We like listening to what people have to say about what they want in the panel. And I think having the charts there is also really useful, meaning that you can actually tidy up everything that is on the Amazon page. And if you want to keep everything just on that panel, now you can. I think that's pretty good as well. But yes, you are most welcome. But yes, those are all of the new features. If you are stuck with the new features, again, there is a separate YouTube video on them on the channel. And of course, as I say, this webinar is being recorded and I'm going to get it up on YouTube as soon as I can, provided that technology doesn't fail. So you can watch this over and over as many times as you like. So now the next part is I'm going to draw it right back to the basics. So if you're new to BuyBot Pro, or even if you are experienced with BuyBot Pro, this is going to be really useful nonetheless and may act as a reminder. So what we're going to look at now is a video on the settings. It's really important to get these right to ensure that the functionality of BuyBot Pro is working perfectly for you and calculating everything in correspondence to what you want. So I'm going to do a video now explaining all of the settings and what everything means in the settings panel. You might have seen a certain section of it and you're not sure what it means. And it could prove really useful if you understand what the setting is. So I've prepared this video for you. I hope you like it. And here are the settings. So to run through the BuyBotPro settings to help your understanding, it's really important to make sure that all of your settings are set up correctly so that way BuyBotPro is working perfectly for you. If you are new to BuyBotPro, I'd heavily recommend that you go through this as the first thing that you do before you do anything else. And if you've been using BuyBotPro for a while, it's always wise to check up on your settings every now and then just to make sure that everything is the way that you want it still. So for example, Amazon fees have changed recently. Have any fees changed for you? Do you want to change your confidence score targets? Are there any toggle preferences that you want to change? And so forth. It's wise every now and then, as I say, just to check back up on your settings from time to time just to make sure that everything is okay. So first up, you have your basic settings. Now these ones are the most important. Definitely make sure that you have everything correct in here, as this is going to affect the calculations big time. So you can set your preferred marketplace. You can set your VAT status, which is important. So if you're non-VAT registered, and if you are VAT registered, it'll be standard accounting or the flat rate scheme. You'll definitely know if you are on the flat rate scheme, but not many people are on this, so you'll likely be standard accounting. And if you're a US or Canadian seller, you'll want to select this option here as you won't be applicable. Next, you have your ROI method, so your return on investment method. If you click on ROI calculations, it shows you all of the sums that BuyBotPro can do. So there's 6 different methods. You'll probably recognize method 1 as that's the most basic way to work out ROI, profit over product cost times 100. If you're a UK seller, we recommend method 4 because as you can see, it takes a lot more into account, including Amazon fees. Therefore, you get a much more accurate ROI. If you're in the US, we'd recommend something like method 5 because again, it takes a lot more into account and it's all VAT exclusive. But ultimately, it is your choice. Select the method that suits you best and how you want the ROI to be calculated and set that method. Next, you are able to set different fees, so like your prep fee, bundle fee, and shipping cost. And the shipping cost can be per kilo or per pound. And then you can select your fulfillment preference. So when you come into BuyBotPro, the calculator will automatically be toggled on to calculate the FBA way because I have it set this way. If I toggled it on to MF, when I come into the calculator, the MF toggle will be on. I can select a shipping cost and it will calculate the FBM way. In the advanced settings, I can select my retail or wholesale preference. So when you have it set to retail, you enter in your buy price including VAT. If you have it set to wholesale, you enter in your buy price excluding VAT. And that is the same toggle that you get in the calculator, but whichever way you toggle this will be the way that it's automatically toggled when you enter the calculator, so it's more of a preference. The grocery VAT toggle will only be relevant and appear if you are VAT registered. So grocery VAT, you can decide if BuyBotPro calculates this with 20% VAT considered or 0%, as some grocery items have 0% VAT. So it's up to you which one you want it to use when you are looking at grocery items. Then you have referral fee VAT exemption and FBA fees VAT exemption. So what this is where you will have reached out to Amazon, and only if Amazon have written back to you and given you permission to be VAT exempt, this is regardless of your VAT status, this is separate. If Amazon have granted you permission to be VAT exempt on these fees, then you can toggle these on and BuyBotPro will take that into account in its calculations. The next toggle is you can turn on or off if you are enrolled in the Dangerous Goods program. You have the option to enter in any extra fees and you can express this as a regular value or a percentage. You can enter in your stock capital, which is your overall budget that you have to spend, and a max buy count. So this is going to affect the suggested purchase quantity. So for example, I've entered in 100 here. The suggested purchase quantity won't suggest a number that's anything more than 100, nor will it suggest an amount that makes me spend more than 10% of my stock capital. So it uses both of those things for the suggested purchase quantity. Next, you have the merchant fulfilled shipping cost options. So if you have up to 3 consistent shipping costs, if you're an FBM seller or if you do fulfill any items yourself, you can enter in those consistent costs here. And these will be the options that will appear when you turn on the MF toggle in the calculator. And of course, you'll also have an option in there to enter in a custom value as well if you wish. You can select your European marketplace preference depending on which one that you do. So you have the choices of PAN, EFN UK and EFN EU. You then have your IOSS settings. So in here you can customize the countries that appear in the IOSS section. So you can toggle any of them off if they're not relevant to what you want to see. So this is primarily for if you're a UK seller selling into European countries. It shows you the VAT rates and such. Next, you have the Google Sheet section. So what you'll do here is link up your Google Sheet to BuyBotPro, so that way you can make use of the export data section. So you'll create yourself a Google Sheet, you'll take the URL, paste that in the Google Sheets ID section. It will then take the ID from the URL. You can name the sheet, you can customize the columns, you can toggle on auto export. So what this means is when you analyze an item, it will automatically export to your linked Google Sheet. But you can leave this off if you want to export it manually and choose the sheet where you want to send it. But you can leave this off if you want to manually export to the linked sheet if you wish. And you can also delete your sheet using this button here. The sale price that appears in the sale price field in the calculator, you can choose what gets automatically filled in. So right now I've got it set on buy box, so it's going to automatically fill in the buy box price in the sale price section. Of course, you can enter in your own sale price, but if you want to change your preference, then you can choose from low FBA, the FBA 90-day average price, the new 90-day average price, and the buy box 90-day average price. You can enter in your merchant token here if you wish. It's completely up to you. You'll get this from your Amazon Seller Central account. And basically, if an offer is yours, it will indicate this to you in the competition analysis section. You have the target ROI sale price export. So in your Google Sheet, you'll have a target ROI, and it's just your way of making sure that you achieve your goals and you've got your goal in the spreadsheet as well, just to make sure that everything meets that target ROI. So you can have the default option there. You can set a certain amount, or you can select the custom option and enter in your own target ROI. You then have the personalization features here. So you've got Auto-Analyse. So if you have this toggled on, then basically as soon as you come into BuyBotPro, as soon as you load up an item on Amazon, it will automatically analyze the item for you without you having to enter in any prices or press analyze. You can toggle on if you want to show BuyBotPro Island. If BuyBotPro Island ever disappears, make sure that this is toggled on and press save and sync. You can toggle on if you want the BuyBotPro Quick Look feature to appear. So whenever you search for anything on Amazon, you get those little boxes underneath like so. Let me show you. And this is the quick look feature. So it does what it says on the tin, just a quick look, some quick information about the item itself underneath every result in Amazon. You have the option to show extra details in the manual sourcing accelerator. So if you toggle this on, then it will show the BSR number and give you the image slider for every single item in the manual sourcing panel. If you are having trouble with your internet, or if you have slow internet, by turning this off, it means that everything else in the manual sourcing accelerator may load up a little bit quicker. So this can be helpful at times. Then you have your chart settings. So you can toggle on if you even want to show the charts in BuyBotPro full stop. So that's all of the big charts down here. You can also set your default day range as well. So it's going to show me the information for the last 90 days, but I can set a different preference if I like. So choose from any of those day ranges. I can use a stepped BSR line on the charts if I wish, if I turn this on. I can then decide if I want to see the bar chart averages table. So by turning that on, it will appear. Turning it off, it will disappear. The same thing for the table averages and the seller stock and price chart. So this way you can customize what big charts appear at the bottom of the item with BuyBotPro. Then you have the BuyBotPro score adjuster settings. So here is where you can set your targets for what you want from an item. So you can set a minimum profit, ROI, and some BSR parameters as well. And this is going to affect the confidence score. So if an item meets all of your targets or exceeds them, you're going to get a good confidence score. If it doesn't meet any of them, you're going to get a bad confidence score. If it meets some of them, then you get an average confidence score. Then you can link up Profit Protector Pro should you have it. So Profit Protector Pro is a separate subscription, a separate piece of software. It's a repricer aimed at increasing your sales and profits. You can link it up here using the Profit Protector Pro email that you have and the secret key from your My Account settings in that software in order to access the BuyBotPro Profit Protector Pro integration in the main panel. And then for anything that you change in your settings, please make sure that you come to the very bottom and click on Save and Sync. That way BuyBotPro can refresh and take all of those changes into account. So those are all of the settings in BuyBotPro. Again, please make sure that you check this out from time to time just to make sure that everything is correct and that everything is set up the way that you want it to be. Thank you for watching, and back to the webinar. So I promise those longer videos are now done. So that was the new features, and then we just did an overview of the settings. So as I mentioned a couple of times in that video, it's important to get that set up correctly first. That way BuyBotPro is calculating everything right. straight away. And it's important, even when you do set up everything, to go back in and check on it from time to time. And plus, when we add something new like Auto-Analyse, that's something that you can check out in the settings as well. I also touched on a couple of the other topics very, very briefly that we're going to be discussing in this webinar. So those are up and coming. I also realized as well, with the new charts feature, I'm now referring to the charts as big charts and little charts, and that was not the case before. Big charts, little charts, cardboard box. Make a new song and dance about that. But yes, it's really important to go through all of the settings from time to time. As I say, Amazon fees have changed recently. Don't worry, BuyBotPro gets all of the fees directly from the Amazon calculator, so they're always up to date. But if you have any fees yourself that might have changed, it's always important to go and check up on those things, change that in BuyBotPro, so that way things remained, calculating correctly. So with that being said, we're now going to move on to the next video, which is all about the confidence score. So from time to time, despite what BuyBotPro says in the analysis and how good an item looks, you can just need that little bit of reassurance that, this item is going to work out. You just need that extra voice sort of telling you that everything's going to be okay. And that is what the confidence score is going to do for you. And we cover another feature in this video as well. But I'm going to shut up now and leave the video to do the talking. So I'll catch you in a little bit. So in the purchase quantity, both of which are really useful, not just for helping you decide if you're going to go ahead with the item or not, but also helping you with a quantity decision as well, as sometimes that can be quite tough. So the confidence score you can see in two places, in BuyBotPro Island and in the main panel itself, and that's what we're going to go through first. So the confidence score is basically BuyBotPro being like a friend and telling you what it thinks of the deal. So in this case, it's telling me it's a good deal. It's given me a score of 75.17%, which is great. It might come up with a bad score if, let's say, it's a negative profit, if you're not eligible to sell, if it doesn't meet any of your criteria. There could be multiple reasons for that, or it might give you a score in between. But it's really useful for helping you make your buying decision nonetheless. Now, regardless of the confidence score that you get, it's going to give you the top 3 things to consider before you go ahead with the item. So if we hover over this confidence score now, it's telling me that Amazon have the buy box and Amazon are on the listing. Now, whilst this isn't amazing news, it's not the best news ever, it's important nonetheless, because that tells me that if I was to join this listing, I need to make sure that I set a competitive price in order to compete with Amazon. And it also tells me that I might want to check things like the buy box statistics, for example, just to see how often Amazon do win the buy box, to ensure that I have a chance of winning the buy box as well. It's telling me that it is a heavy item, and we can confirm this by looking at the oversize factor in the alert section. So here it says that this product is likely to be oversized, causing the fees to be higher. So that's just something to take into account. It's really important to do that, so that way you're aware of things like the fees that you're going to be paying and what your profit might end up being like. So just to give you an idea. The confidence score is primarily affected by your criteria settings. So to view this, what you need to do is come into your BuyBotPro settings here and navigate down to where it says BuyBotPro Score Adjuster. So here you set your target. So you want to achieve at least how much profit, ROI, and you can set some BSR parameters as well. So it's completely up to you what you set in here. You may adjust this as your business grows or as things change. So it's always important to come back to this if and when you need to. If you set it all up and decide that you want to start again, you can use the reset button here. But as I say, it's completely up to you what you set in here. Now, if the item meets all of this criteria or exceeds it, you're going to get a good confidence score. If it meets some of it, maybe not all of it, it's going to give you an average confidence score. If it meets none of it, or it could be for another reason, like you're not eligible, there's an IP issue or something else like that. If it doesn't meet any of the criteria, then you're going to get a bad confidence score. So it's really important to bear this in mind, as this is going to affect the score big time. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the suggested purchase quantity. So provided that you get a confidence score of 50% or above, BuyBotPro will give you a suggested purchase quantity. So how many it thinks you should buy based on the analysis. So right now it's suggesting 50. Now, this number that it gives doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go ahead and get 50. You can just use this as a starting point to figure out your own number somewhere around this area, or you can take this completely on board. Now, the suggested purchase quantity works with two parts of your settings, and this is what it works with. So come through to your settings. It works with both the stock capital, which is your overall budget that you have to spend, and the max buy count. So you can set a limit on how many it suggests, and it won't suggest an amount that makes you spend more than 10% of your stock capital either. So it uses both of those things to give you a suggestion. All in all, both of which, as I say, are really, really useful for helping you not only decide if you're going to buy the item, but helping you decide on your quantity as well, which can be vital to your purchasing decisions. Hopefully this video helps. Back to the webinar. So there we go, the confidence score and suggested purchase quantity. Now, what I like about the confidence score is that it's real with you. It's just straight up. It's not trying to make itself look good. It's not trying to make BuyBotPro look good. It works with the targets that you have set, and it gives you an honest opinion on the item, which is vital for a good purchasing decision. It's not just going to tell you every single item is good. It needs to meet that criteria for it to tell you that it's good. So I do like that about the confidence score. It's real with you. It's straight up. And the suggested purchase quantity as well is really, really handy. I mean, how would you know how much of an item to buy? And that is just it's a great suggestion. As I said in the video, you can take that completely on board, or you can use that number as a great starting point to figure out your own quantity of how much of a product that you want to buy. And the rest of the information in BuyBotPro as well, like the things that you'll find on the charts, for example, are a great way of indicating the historical information about an item that can help you predict what's going to happen in the future. So if things look like they're going to be doing well, and you can get that from the estimated sales calculator as well, you might want to buy a little bit more. It's completely up to you, but that suggestion is great. Now that we have worked through that one, we're going to move on to the next video. So this one is one of my favorite features. It's the manual sourcing accelerator. Now, what this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to not only, whilst you're out and about sourcing for items on various websites, it's going to allow you to analyze those items at the exact same time on that page. It is super cool, but I'm going to let the video do the talking. So here is the manual sourcing accelerator. So I'm going to walk you through the manual sourcing accelerator, which is such a powerful tool within BuyBotPro, and I'd heavily urge you to utilize this if you aren't already, because not only can you source products, but you can analyze them at the same time thanks to the manual sourcing accelerator. So go to any retailer website and find yourself an item. So if this item looks like something that you might want to go ahead with, you can analyze it on the exact same page. So highlight the title of the item, right click, and you'll notice that you have a BuyBotPro option. Now, the marketplace that it comes up with automatically right off the bat when you press this button will be the marketplace that you've set as your preference in your BuyBotPro settings. So here it says .co.uk. So back in your BuyBotPro settings, you can see the preferred marketplace. Now, if I set this to US, it would come up with .com. If I set this to Germany, it'll come up with .de and so forth. So set your preference, and that'll be the marketplace that comes up first when you use this option. So when you click on that, this panel will then appear. So this can be kind of helpful for finding similar items to the one that you're looking at to perhaps sell on Amazon. So it can, in a way, kind of help you a little bit with sourcing. So we just need to find our item here, which is this one. And you might have noticed at the top that you can also search for different items at the top here. You can also change the marketplace that you're analyzing in as well, should you need to. So right now we're on .co.uk. That's our preference, but we could look at it in the French marketplace or Spanish. It's completely up to you which one that you select. So let's go ahead and analyze this item. So right off the bat, we can see the title, the image, the ASIN, and if we click on this, it takes us through to the Amazon item page. We can see the buy box price, the BSR, and if we click on BuyBotPro, it then comes up with the exact same panel that we have over on the Amazon page. So we can go ahead and analyze the item. So enter in your buy price, sell price, and analyze, and you get all of the same results. So eligibility, IP, the details. The charts are condensed down to this little button here. So if you want to view the charts, you can click that and it will open it up for you. So you get the main sales chart, the offers and reviews chart, the BSR chart and the averages tables. And you get everything else, including the new features as well that I mentioned in the earlier video. They are at the very bottom. And this is where the new charts feature comes in handy as well. So you could, in theory, view the charts on this instead of opening it up in the other button. So you can keep everything on this one page. If you need to minimize this panel as well, you can click on this arrow here and it condenses it down to that little blue B icon, which you can open up as and when you please. But this is such a powerful feature. You can do 2 jobs at once. And right, I bet you didn't know this, but this is a sneaky little trick that you can do. So this actually also works on Profit Protector Pro as well. So if you highlight the title, right click and use the BuyBotPro option, it's going to look for the item on Amazon and obviously give you similar results as well. But this can be really, really useful for reanalyzing a product. And the magic is you don't have to go anywhere. You can keep it all on the page that you are on. So that is another place that you can use the manual sourcing accelerator as well. And if you needed a reminder on how to use it, you have the manual sourcing button on BuyBotPro itself, so you can click on this and it comes up with a video on how to use it. But hopefully this video has helped you. Back to the webinar. So that is the manual sourcing accelerator. I know that lots of you guys use this on the daily. It is such a powerful bit of kit within BuyBotPro. And what's great is that it is included within your subscription. There's no extra cost, nothing like that is part of your BuyBotPro subscription. If you didn't know about that already, I'd heavily urge you to go ahead and give it a try. It is great. Especially for things like in Profit Protector Pro, I bet you didn't know that you could do that. But that works as a great substitute for the Analyze with BuyBotPro button within Profit Protector Pro. Of course, there might be times when you think it's a lot more useful to view the item on the Amazon page itself. You might prefer to do it that way, but being able to open up the manual sourcing accelerator on that page as well is a great substitute, and it's just an extra option. So I like as well that it helps with like potentially finding more products that you could sell. Any bit of sourcing help that you can get goes a long way in helping your business. So the fact that it shows you similar items that are available on Amazon can really help you out. For example, if you're analyzing a particular product and you find that it's not quite working out for you, one of the other suggestions on that manual sourcing panel could be the answer. So it's a great help, and you know, it's one of the fan favorites, I think. So it's always a great feature to use and to cover in these videos as well. And that then brings me nicely on to the final video of the webinar. Now, I try and not get too excited about this, but I can't help it. This is one of my personal favorite features within BuyBotPro. That is the variations feature. Before I start breaking out into a little giddy fit, I'm going to play the video. Here is the variations feature. So in talk you through the variations feature, which is actually one of my personal favorites. It always makes me really happy when I get the opportunity to show this off. But what this is going to do, it's going to cut down hours worth of work into minutes. Now, finding a particular variation that you want to sell can be a bit of a nightmare, particularly if you have something like this. And as we can see from the alert section, there are 435 variations. How do we decide? I've never seen so many different Crocs in my life. I've never seen so many different sizes either. So it's going to be a near impossible task to try and figure out which variation you're going to go ahead with, except if you have the BuyBotPro variations feature, then this task becomes a breeze. So you'll have the variations table here, and you can turn this on by clicking on the button here. The table will load up, so as you can see that it's loading up all 435 variations of the item. So here you can see the ASIN, the color, the size, the price of the item, and here you can see the low and high prices for FBA and FBM sellers. You can see the FBA and FBM sellers on that particular variation of the listing, and you can toggle on or off if you want to see just one or the other at the top. You can see the reviews as well, so this is the percentage, and if you hover over it you get the actual review count. If you click on any of these fields, it will take you through to that particular variation of the item on Amazon and it will analyze it for you in BuyBotPro. Heading back onto the original one, you can search for a particular variation as well. So if you're looking for a specific color or size, if you want to check it out and compare it to everything else, then you can do. But what's really cool about this chart is you can filter when you click on the different titles at the top. So you can filter by ASIN, color, size. But one that's really going to help you out is the reviews. So by clicking this, it's going to do it from low to high, and clicking it again will do it from high to low. Now you might be wondering straight away, why is this one blue? That's because this is the specific variation of the item that we are looking at now. And with the reviews, logically, and most of the time, the item with the most reviews is going to be doing the best. Obviously, you can only really figure this out by doing a further analysis, but it points you in the right direction and it will cut down looking at hundreds of variations down to looking at maybe a handful. So hours worth of work cut down to minutes, all thanks to this variations table. So let's go ahead and look at this one just by clicking on that, and then we can do the full in-depth analysis. But that is how much the variations table can help you out. I can't emphasize my love for that feature. It makes me sound really nerdy, but that is how it works. Give it a try if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you back in the webinar. So that is the variations feature, and me on the video was right, that does sound really nerdy, but it is a great feature. Imagine trying to figure out what variation of an item you're going to go ahead with without something like that. I mean, it would be a case of going through every single variation of the item, trying to find the reviews and the ratings for all 435 or whatever the number was on that video. Like, that's nuts. That's going to take you all day long. But with that feature, a couple of minutes, like, wow. So that is part of why it's one of my favorite features. It just cuts down what would be a full day's worth of work down into a couple of minutes. And even if you are doing the full analysis of each one and checking each variation out, it becomes a lot simpler because you're not doing that for every single one again. You're only doing it for a couple based on what the variations table has told you. So definitely check that out if you haven't done so already. A way to know if an item has variations right off the bat is if you see in the little variations factor in the little dash alert section, it'll tell you how many there are, and then from there you can then use the variations table to find out a little bit more and find which variations that you want to look at. So with that being said, that then brings me to an end of the first BuyBotPro deep dive training webinar of 2023. We are going to keep these up, so once a month we'll have one of these. If you have Profit Protector Pro, great news, you'll see me in 2 weeks doing that deep dive training webinar as well, and those will start up as normal. So once a month you'll have a BuyBotPro training webinar and a Profit Protector Pro one as well. For anyone that is watching this on a rewatch, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Provided that technology does not fail me, I'm going to try and get this up on YouTube as soon as possible, so that way you guys can come back to it and rewatch it as many times as you like. Thank you so much to everyone that joined me today. Thank you so much for your time and for watching. Hopefully you learned a lot, especially about the new features. Give them a shot if you haven't done so already. I've been Matt, and I'll see you on the next webinar. Thank you very much and take care. Goodbye.